Okay, I was gonna go see The Amazing Spider-Man 2, and I've decided probably not going to do that. And not because I don't want to see it, I do, but this is one of the disadvantages of being or not being able to see a movie the week it comes out, because as I'm filming this, it's been about a full week since its premiere, and we live in the age of the internets, and I feel like after reading all of the spoilers and all of the reviews and all of the just everything, I feel I've already seen the movie. And the initial buzz for this is not good, and I'm amazed that this movie is being panned very heavily by fans and even critics, because the Spider-Man movies have always kind of been a critic-friendly series, with the exception of 3. And even the fans couldn't defend 3 to save their lives. So, just from the initial buzz on The Amazing Spider-Man 2, I've heard people call it the worst superhero movie of all time. And I've heard people even so far as saying that it's worse than Steel or Judge Dredd or any of the other comic book movies that are out there. And I think that's going a little too far. You know, when you're comparing your movie to Shaquille O'Neal acting in a movie, that I think there are grounds for argument right there. I don't think that The Amazing Spider-Man 2 is that bad. And I don't know. But I've heard some people so far as to say that it's just a terrible movie, it's a train wreck, and I've heard other people saying that it's a great movie. It's a wonderful, enjoyable, entertaining flick. So, just from, again, reading spoilers and reviews, and there's tons of them everywhere, I've come to this conclusion. This is just my simple conclusion of, I've never seen the movie before, and I'm just going by what people are saying. Basically, if you're 8 years old and you like Spider-Man being the goofy, wisecracking superhero who beats up villains and has a great time doing it, you'll probably like this movie. If you're expecting the same type of kind of like Cloak and Dagger type thing from the first movie, like the first Amazing Spider-Man, if you're expecting anything like that, you will be disappointed. And it's sad because I liked The Amazing Spider-Man. I thought The Amazing Spider-Man was a great movie. I wasn't expecting much from it, but I thought it was good. I really did. And this whole thing has gotten me to thinking. Well, it's got me thinking two things, and this will probably be a two-part video, because as I was brainstorming this, I started thinking of something else that I'm going to talk about, and so I'm just going to split this up into two parts. So, the backlash for Amazing Spider-Man 2, my personal opinion, can be one of two things. The first one is we have all become snobs. And I blame the internet. The internet, which has given everybody a voice. Anybody who has a computer, or a phone, or video capability, any asshole, like me, can set up their little piddly camera, they can film a video, and put it up. And that gives, apparently, everybody an opinion. Like, we all have an opinion, and now we have a way to voice that opinion. And whether we want to hear it or not, we think people do. And I am in no way what you would call a critic. I don't expect anybody to listen to my stuff and say, you know what, he's got a point. Well, what am I thinking, liking this or not liking this? And I do it for fun. I do it because it's more entertaining to hear somebody bitch and complain about something than it is for me to sit here and say, I like that. That was a really good thing. I mean, that's an informative video. People like to see it more of, like they just want to see me raging. You know, when I do Reality Sucks and I talk about Duck Dynasty or any of the other reality shows that I talk about, they have said, like, yeah, I like the videos where you're just talking and you're liking things, but I really like the ones that you're really raging on. Those are the ones that I like the best. So, going back to that, the internet has turned us all into snobs, not slob. Well, it turned us into slobs, but you know what I mean. And looking back on this, what do I mean by that? What do I mean by the internet has turned us all into snobs? Well, because I've noticed that if a critic or a well-liked internet personality, if they'll put up a vlog that they like a movie or don't like a movie, everybody is immediately obliged or obligated to say, I hate that movie too. You know, I like this guy. He's my favorite internet guy, and he doesn't like a movie. Well, I don't like it either. I hate this movie. I saw it and it absolutely sucks. And you don't think it happens, but it does, because I'll tell you right now, it happened with me. I saw Transformers 2, Revenge of the Fallen, and I saw it twice. Went to the movie theater, and I saw it twice. And I very rarely do that for a movie. The one movie that I saw 3 times was Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Yeah, I saw Revenge of the Sith 3 times in the movie theater. And I saw 2 of those 3 showings the day after. I went to the one, and then I went to the other one next day. Swear to God. And then the 3rd showing, I think I went back a week later. I liked it. I liked that movie. But I saw Transformers 2, and I'm thinking to myself, like, this was a good movie. I liked it. It's Transformers. It's an awesome movie. Then I saw somebody's vlog on it, and they trashed this movie. And I mean royally trashed this whole movie, the whole franchise in general. Completely destroyed it. And I'm sitting there and I'm listening to his opinion about it, and he's bringing up all of these instances, all of these facts, and all of these examples of why he hates this movie and why this is a terrible flick. And I'm sitting there listening to it, and I'm thinking to myself, wow, you know, he's got a point. This really wasn't a good movie. It was a downright terrible movie. And it's so bad to say that, because I don't want to be the guy that follows the crowd, you know? I don't want to be the guy that, like, I go to see a movie and he's like, oh, you like that movie? That movie sucked. What are you thinking? And I'm like, oh, yeah, I didn't like it either. I mean, I thought it was really lame and no. I like terrible movies. And people, I watch Howard the Duck. I love that movie. I love Howard the Duck. I could watch that all the time. And I hear so many people ragging on Howard the Duck, like, oh my God, that's the worst movie ever. It was so stupid. I don't care. I loved it. I'll watch it over and over again if I have to. It's a great movie. But going back to Transformers, and here's the thing. As far as the fourth movie, Transformers: Age of Extinction, I'm not in any big hurry to see that movie. And I think because I've reached a point with the Transformers movies where I know what they're going to be about. It's pretty much the same formula for all three movies. In that somebody finds out something about the Transformers, the US government gets involved, the Autobots are blamed or something happens to them, the Decepticons arrive, blow shit up, the Autobots reemerge and stop them. I've just described all three movies in Cliff Note form. It's the same movie. And I'm not saying that they're not entertaining on some levels. I'm one of the bigger Transformer fans out here. And even I have to sit back like, oh my god. Really? But here, this is my... There's a lot of problems, but... Here was my biggest pet peeve about the Transformers movies. We spent too much time on the humans. And I know Michael Bay has a hard-on for the military. He's gung-ho. He's G.I. Joe when it comes to the military. Like, anytime he can show something blowing up with Marines running out of it in their heroic poses in slow motion, he'll do it. But when you look at the Transformers... Alright, let's go all the way back. Let's look at the very first movie. The first Transformers. It featured... I'm trying to think of a good ratio here. I'm gonna say 70-30 ratio of robots and humans, and the 70 very, very close, I guess, to the robots, because once the Autobots show up, once the Transformers are revealed, they stay on camera quite a bit. You know, there's never a time where we're not directly involved with them somehow. Then you look at when the first movie came out, I was like, that was a really good movie. I liked it. It has some of the established characters. It had the robots fighting. I liked that. And then word came out about Transformers 2 being made, and I thought, okay. Like, now here's where they could really have fun with this franchise. And like, you knew they were going to bring Megatron back. You knew it. And you thought, like, okay, so Megatron will come back and maybe we'll see more interaction with the Decepticons, because that was some of the best parts of the old cartoon, was Megatron and Starscream bickering at each other like they were married. And you know, just having the entire movie be the Decepticons trying to siphon energy from the planet and the Autobots are stopping them. You know, it could have been something so simple as that. Then they announced that the title was going to be Revenge of the Fallen. And any Transformer fan knows that the Fallen was one of the original Primes who betrayed them to Unicron, who was the big Satanistic planet destroyer that... It was like the Transformers equivalent to Satan, is the best way I can describe Unicron. That's the only way I can describe Unicron. But, you know, immediately you're thinking like, oh, the Fallen's going to be it. Well, that means Unicron's coming. That would be awesome. Like, this could really pick up to be a really good series. And then, like, the third movie could be them fighting Unicron. Like, all of a sudden you start writing this movie in your head. You know, like, they fight the Fallen, they beat him, and it turns out that Unicron's coming, and now the Autobots and the Decepticons have to join forces to fight this thing. It'd be so simple. And instead, we get the ratio for this movie, I'm going to say 60-40. And 60 is the humans. Oh my, this movie. I know I liked it before. I can't defend it now. This movie sucked. Oh my god, did it suck. And I'm not saying that because other people have said it. I'm saying it because it's not a good movie. It is not a good representation of a Transformers movie. Because, okay, yeah, the Autobots and the Decepticons fight. But they don't fight much. They fight maybe twice. Like a big time fight between more than one robot at a time. They fight 2 times. They fight in the forest when Optimus basically 3-on-1s 3 Decepticons, and then the desert fight. Whoop-de-shit, you know? And the entire time, like, I don't give a damn about Sam Witwicky and his secret in his head. I don't care. The entire time, every human that comes on screen in a Transformers movie, the first thing I say is, oh my god, why am I watching these guys? And why do I care? Why do you think I care about what Sam Witwicky is doing in college? You know? Why do you think I care about his relationship? Like, I don't. And the thing that teased me off the worst about Transformers 2 is Megatron. Anybody that knows Transformers, anybody that's ever watched Transformers in their life, no matter what incarnation, Generation 1, Beast Wars, the Japanese imports, Transformers Prime, whatever. The basic, the simplest, just the one key defining characteristic of Megatron is that this guy will not bow down to anyone. Anyone. In Megatron's eyes, he is the alpha male. And there is no one higher. No one. Like, Megatron would be the kind of guy who would walk up to Unicron, the planet-destroying Satan of the Transformers universe. He would walk right up to him, extend his arm, flip him off, and proceed to shoot a plasma cannon shot upside his head. Why? Because Megatron, in his mind, is the man. And what do they do in Revenge of the Fallen? They turn him into a sniveling toady. And I know people are like, well, he wasn't sniveling. No, he was sniveling. He beats up Starscream, and then he goes over to the Fallen, and he's like, my master, we have failed. I am sorry. I am completely at your mercy right now. That's a sniveling toady. Megatron would not be bowing down to the Fallen. If they really wanted to do it right, they should have had the Fallen come down, usurp control over the Decepticons, and had Megatron, like, forced to work with him. Or for him. But all the time, switch back to Megatron, like, you know, what, like, as soon as he makes a mistake, I'm making my move, and I'm going to knock his ass out. You know, just have just basic interactions with the Transformers is all I'm asking. We don't even get to see much of that. Because, like I said, some of the best times of the original cartoon were Megatron and Starscream bitching at each other. That was great moments. And you go to the third movie. It's a way better movie than Revenge of the Fallen was. In fact, if you wanted to, you could probably just take Revenge of the Fallen and throw it away and just keep Dark of the Moon as the second movie, because they don't change much. They don't change much at all. They may mention a few things, but as far as Revenge of the Fallen's continuity, it doesn't exist. But they still make Megatron into a bitch. And again, that pissed me off even more. The fact that Patrick Dempsey was the bigger villain in the movie than Megatron. Wow. You know, somebody had said this about the 1998 Godzilla movie. That Godzilla has two functions. He's indestructible and he breathes fire. And they didn't do either one of them in there. And now the small penis family over there is revving their engines. I gotta find a new place to film these. But, yeah, Godzilla. He breathes fire, he's indestructible. Didn't do either in the 98 movie. So, Transformers. What's the basics of Transformers? The Autobots are the good guys. The Decepticons are the bad guys. Megatron is a power-hungry maniac. And he's always wanting power. He always wants to just conquer and enslave everything. And do they do that in these movies? They do it in the first movie. After that, nothing. Megatron is second banana in all the other movies. He is second fiddle to somebody else. In Revenge of the Fallen, it's the Fallen. In Dark of the Moon, it's Sentinel Prime. And the whole thing with Sentinel Prime is they made a deal to keep the Transformer race alive. And, like, even in Chicago, when they're setting things up, Megatron's like, yes, like, soon we will conquer this world, and Sentinel grabs him and was like, I'm not working for you. Let's just remember that right now. I'll work with you, but I'm not working for you. And he kicks his ass. Like, really? Like, it would be Megatron that would talk like that, not... So, then you look at now at the fourth Transformers, which is Age of Extinction, with the Dragon Bots. Oh wait, I'm sorry, the Dinobots. I'm sorry, they look like dragons. Grimlock looks like a damn dragon without wings. But will I go and see this movie? I don't know yet, because there's other movies out there that I will see the week they open. Planet of the Apes, I'm definitely going to go see opening weekend. Might go see Godzilla opening weekend. The Hobbit, of course. But will I go see Transformers 4? I don't know. Again, that's really sad for me to say, because I have become kind of a snob when it comes to those are the movies I would defend. I would defend the Transformers movies. Say, like, well, you have to go into it with the mentality of a 5-year-old. And that doesn't work for me anymore. Because the slapsticky, uh, fart dick jokes that they do in the other movies. They're just not. They're not selling me anymore. You know, Michael Bay, you got to do something different, man. Like, you are the king of special effects. You are the king of CG explosions. This should not be hard. Transformers should be your opus. I've always said Transformers 4 should have been a prequel. You really want to get the fans back on board? You need to do a prequel. You need to do it on Cybertron. Do the fourth movie on Cybertron. I'd watch it. Do Transformers Exodus, the book. Just translate that into a movie. Enough said. I'd go see that. Anything to keep me away from the humans. The humans are what kills it for me. You know, because I guarantee you, Mark Wahlberg is going to have more screen time than Optimus Prime. Guarantee it. But I have completely rambled on here. And I will be moving a location here soon because that's kind of pissing me off. But like I said, this will be a 2-part series. And the second part, I will be talking more about my initial thoughts about Spider-Man and basically the Marvel Universe in general. So, stay tuned for part 2, and I need to find a new place to film this. So, hopefully that wasn't covering me up, but oh well. Anyway, I'll see you back in part 2, real quick.